Well, the answer to this question actually lays in two different spheres which are intimately interconnected. Spirituality is important for the one who is practicing it, so that is an existential point of view. And yet spirituality is equally important, if not more, for the collective state of affairs. Because out of the sum total of those who practice spirituality forms the collective level of consciousness, the collective level of awareness. And that in itself is a platform which serves as consciousness being projected into all other spheres of human activity. We can talk about it some other time in more details, because this is a very, very important subject. Let's just focus on spirituality in terms of the individual practice, in terms of the individual practitioner. In order to do that, why don't we switch the question to why art is important, or why science is important, or why any particular field of human activity is important for that matter. There was a time in human history when all these activities were inseparable from one another. Art, spirituality, science was perhaps practiced by the same being, by the same individual, and to separate the art from the ritual, from the metaphysical investigation into the physical realities of this world, along with, let's say, what we call today spiritual benefits of that activity, were impossible to separate. But we found ourselves now in time when every field of human activity is fragmented. It runs as it is through its own channel. So we'll have to look at it from that point of view. So we'll have to examine the field of human activity as it is and as it relevant to our day-to-day existence. So I'd say spirituality is important because spirituality, just like anything, is the field which gives the human being a sense of understanding his own self. Spirituality is a science of consciousness, speaking in today's terminology. So the science of consciousness, in some cultures has been practiced uninterruptedly for millennia, for thousands and thousands of years. It has perhaps been practiced in the Western Hemisphere just as long as it was practiced in the countries like India. However, there were breakages because spirituality became increasingly associated with religion, and religion managed to sterilize spirituality from its own essence, because everything was put on to the, let me reword it, the spirituality was seen as independent means for a human being to attain his own self. And religion, or at least an organized religion as we know it, as an institution, could not allow that. As Immanuel Kant said sometimes in the past, that religion is something which keeps being from experiencing God directly. Just think about that. So I'd say spirituality, the importance of spirituality lays primarily in getting in touch with your own self. How does the being does it? What tools, what terminologies, what technologies he or she uses? is another matter. That's how I see it.